Ladies and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you identify in this wonderful, beautiful world, welcome into the Hunter Houston ESG podcast. Tonight's episode is just as the title says, hideo kojima wishes and kisses. Many different things going on. I'll talk about my escapades because there was a mailbag. There was a couple other questions, but I felt the most important one was, I guess, a new listener had watched an old episode where I was talking about women. And so later on, if you have children and you're listening to this or watching this show, you may or may not want them to hear it because I get a little bit detailed and intimate. I use a lot of profanity, probably. I might. Who knows? So I will let people know whenever that part of the show happens. But till then, you can watch with your young ones if you like. Now, we have a recurring guest. He is from Next Level Games in North Carolina, Shelby, and he also does repairs. And that young man is KRIS. KRIS, how are you, sir? I am not hearing you now. I was hearing you, now I'm not hearing you. So apparently something happened between then and there. Speak to me again. Say hello. I am not hearing you, KRIS. Do you hear me? Because I am not hearing you now. You went completely dead in the mic. So I'm not hearing you. Do you hear me now? Be- Because all I hear is dead silence from you. I think his mic went out. He may have to mess with his headset a little bit here. But Chris from Next Level Games is here with us tonight. Right now, his mic is not working. So while his mic is not working, let me go ahead and tell you about some news that just took place. So if you are a sports fan of the NBA, LeBron James has signed with the Philadelphia 76ers to try to possibly win their championship and basically try to do what Kobe Bryant didn't do, which is leave LA because Kobe Bryant is a Philadelphia kid, even though he was born in Italy and speaks Italiano. So, uh, that's some sports news for you guys out there that love some sports. And there's a serious allegations going on with Alabama. Now, Chris, by any chance, have you fixed that headset yet?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. All right. How are you, sir?
Yeah. I'm good.
There we go. That headset was messing you up, brother.
Oh, it was weird. As soon as you put me on the screen, all the sound went out.
It didn't like you on the screen for some reason. Now, how are
It
you,
worked.
sir?
I'm good.
Now, for people don't know who you are, and you are a recurring guest, what do you, what is your credentials, sir? Other than being a lifelong gamer, as most of us are, and uh, where do you work?
So I run a video game store in Shelby, North Carolina. It's Next Level Games and Repairs. We buy, sell, trade video games and consoles, and we also do repairs on consoles and controllers.
All right, all right. Now, what are you drinking tonight?
The usual diet Sundrop.
I am drinking the tea once again. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not sponsored by them. I am just drinking it because it's pretty good. I put a little honey in the old cup over here and then get this sucker going. And the toast is always a good shout out to the resident Sterold or the Loot Bros podcast. When I used to be a part of the Loot Bros. I was the last Loot Bro to join the Loot Bros podcast. And so I take great pride in that. And so when I give this toast, it's always to all the boys and girls and aliens or whoever's out there in the world, especially those who are part of Luke Bros podcast or came over from Luke Bros podcast that still follow us to today. This toast is for you and everyone else in this world. Whatever you're drinking tonight, salute to you. So good. So good. Now, what are you playing, sir?
Well, I've been playing PUBG with Will, and then I recently picked up a analog pocket at the convention.
Whoa, 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 whoa. 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 What is an analog pocket? Do you have it with you?
Yeah, it's sitting
Can you
right
put it
here.
on screen? Put it on screen.
Let me just take it out of the case.
An analog pocket. I don't know what that is. So show it to the camera, and then explain to us what an analog pocket is.
It's
So what?
basically a fancy Game Boy.
Okay. Now, does it do digital games or does it do actual
Oh no,
cartridges?
your actual cartridges. Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance.
Oh, very cool. Now, does it
Yeah.
have like a built-in Game Shark or anything?
Not that I've found. Now I know there's like different apps you can put on this, and it's FPGA based. So what that means is
Okay.
unlike most like your software emulators you see on those bootleg Chinese things, this actually simulates the hardware. So it has like near 100% accuracy and compatibility.
So when you're playing Lunar Complete Story, it'll actually play like Lunar Complete Story for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
There we go.
And the screen on it is gorgeous. I don't know how well that's coming up on
Oh, it
camera.
looks good, man. I can see on the picture it looks great. For those who don't have the privilege of actually watching the show, the video screen is very clear, it's very clean, and it is coming across gorgeous for Crash Bandicoot. I don't know why you're playing Crash Bandicoot. You should be playing Golden Sun. You
I
know,
need to pick up Golden Sun.
yeah, you need to pick up all the Golden Suns or at least get the emulators for them there, bud.
And then the
Um,
Open FPGA, I haven't set that up on it, but that's how you can load ROMs off of an SD card.
allegedly, allegedly. We do not condone that. We do believe in preserving stuff, and if you actually have the real copy and you don't want to mess up the real copy, you can preserve it. So
Yeah.
now you're playing that, and what else are you playing, sir? Is that all you're currently playing?
Oh, well, on the Pocket, I started playing Fire Emblem, because I've never played a Fire Emblem game before.
How are those?
Mm.
Because I've seen the hack and slash one, and then JP from Loot Bros, and they used to do a Nintendo thing. I forgot what it was called. He's a big Fire Emblem guy. I'm just assuming that he gotten gonorrhea a couple of times, and that's why all the fires. Why he likes Fire Emblem, but I don't know. I'd have
Uh,
to ask.
it's it's pretty solid so far. Like I'm about 2 hours into it, and I'm
This is
still
a
figuring
turn-based
everything
RPG.
out. Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, more like a strategy game, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay. Does it have a
There's like
job system?
grid. Yeah, there's different weapons. I haven't quite gotten that far yet in it,
Okay.
but like there's one character, she's primarily an archer, and there's another one that's like a warrior. He has a giant double-handed sword, and then there's another character where he rides a horseback. So,
Very cool. Now, I have been playing a lot of different games recently, but I basically did the most weirdest thing, and I'll talk more about it on the next episode, or I'll just do a separate episode about that altogether. Is I was saving up money for a PS6. Okay, I had sold off a bunch of bull crap, some things I didn't need, and I was basically sitting on about $700. So, in my wisdom, which I am not very wise, um, I got a hair up my ass and decided to buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and I got the 450 no, excuse me, I got the $500 one from Best Buy with Donkey, because you had your choice
is it
option of
that
three
choose
different
your
digital
own game
games.
bundle?
Yes. So I could have got Mario Kart World, which I was not going to get that because I already have the best Mario Kart game, which is Mario Kart 8. Okay. I don't need another Mario Kart game. I already have the best one. I don't care about anything new. 8's the best. Anybody who thinks differently, you're just mental. Uh, and then Pokemon, I don't, I look, I didn't grow up playing Pokemon. When Pokemon came out, I did plenty of episodes where I said, I missed the boat on it. I wish I could have invested in it. But I felt like I was a little too old for Pokemon. It's like once you reach a certain age, like you can't date a girl who's like 20. You can only date like girls who are like 25. I'm at the age where I can't date if I was single, I couldn't date a girl unless she was 25. It's kind of the same way with Pokemon. There was a cutoff age when Pokemon came out. I was already like 25 or 26 when Pokemon came out. So Pokemon was for like maybe 5, 6 year old people who had the Game Boy Advance or whatever it was at that time, and it wasn't for me. Okay, so there was no chance I was getting Pokemon. So I got Donkey Kong Bonanza. That game is awesome. That game
Great
is
game.
amazing. It's a great game. Then, with all my wisdom, I went to Costco. Now, those who don't realize this, if you have a Costco membership, okay, their little digital things for their money for like Nintendo, PlayStation, or whatever, they're $89.99, and it's $100. So you're always getting $10 every time you buy one of their things. So I bought one for $100. Well, excuse me, for $89.99. So I got $10 for free. So I used those. I used that $10, the free $10, to get the upgrade for Breath of the Wild, and I spent another $10 to get the upgrade for Tears of the Kingdom. And let me just say, playing those games on a Switch too versus playing them on a Switch is night and day. They're like brand new games because the graphics look good, the colors aren't washed out, and you can actually enjoy the damn game. I had a hard time playing these on the Switch because I honestly think the Switch could not handle either one of those games. I think those games were way too much for the Switch to originally handle. And I know everybody gave them great whatever, but I never finished them on the Switch. I think I'm more likely to finish them now and actually enjoy them because they're on the Switch too, and it looks so much better. Have you played the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrades of either one of those games?
Oh yeah, I've been playing the Breath of the Wild upgrade. I haven't started Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2,
Isn't it
but
beautiful?
yeah, it's insane how much of a difference it is. So I think the difference is gonna be even bigger in Tears of the Kingdom because that game didn't exactly run very good on the Switch 1.
Oh man, it ran like ass.
It
And
was
then
playable.
I did so many upgrades on certain games, and then okay, so I went all out, man. I got myself a couple controllers. I got this one right here from Amazon for 25 bucks, and it lights up. And man, it is a badass controller. It is an awesome controller. Then I got at Best Buy the Turtle Beach one that was on sale for Mario for
Those are cool.
30 bucks. It's normally a $60 controller. I got it for 30 bucks from Best Buy's Black whatever July sale. Um, and they had some different colors, but I thought this was the best one. And it doesn't make any clicky sounds. The other one makes clicky sounds, but this one does light up if you turn it on. I don't want to turn it on and turn on my Switch 2 here. But dude, I love my Switch 2. When some asshole at Best Buy was like, well, if you carry it around with you, like, dude, every one of my Switches sits on a TV. I seldomly take a Switch out of my house. They all sit on a TV, on
Yeah.
a console. They all sit, perfectly. And I'm only playing it for Nintendo games. I'm not playing it for other titles because I'm gonna play that on the PS5 or an Xbox X series. But I am very happy and pleased with my purchase because again, it was one of those things like, well, they're getting ready to go up in price. Oh, well, they're going to have a Zelda one for Ocarina of Time, and the reason why I bought mine, Chris, I cannot tell you a lie, is because of Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah.
There's no other reason why. I'm being completely honest. There's no other reason why I bought a Switch 2 other than Ocarina of Time.
It is a system seller. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Pokopia were system sellers, but the Ocarina of Time remake is really a system seller for a lot of people.
And because they're getting ready to raise the price for just the regular system by itself up to like 500, and they may even raise it up to 550 or 600 by itself, depending upon how much components are going to be, as long as, we're in quote unquote war and, this, let's just be honest, we've been in a recession for at least about a good 6, 7 years now. It's just a continuation of that bullshit.
Yeah, it's
And my whole thing is like, look, if you don't have your Nintendo Switch 2 yet, you need to get your Nintendo Switch 2 before the prices jump. Because at least Nintendo had the decency to say, hey, in September, we're raising the prices of the Nintendo Switch. Buy it now.
oh yeah, and I think that the PS5 is likely to get another price increase as well.
You
I
really
already
think
see it
so?
coming. Yeah,
Well, they said they are doing a
but
Black Friday deal where they're going to drop it down $100 for Black Friday, allegedly.
I haven't heard anything about that.
We may need to look that up here. Now, now that we got all the pleasantries out of the way, let's give some shout outs before we really get the show started. Shout out to the Residence Daryl Show. Shout out to the PlayStation Ain't Dead. Shout out to Games Ain't Dead with Sean. And did you actually get to go to the Southwestern Game Conference show?
Yeah, the Southeast Game Exchange.
How,
Yeah,
how,
I
how
went.
was that, sir? Because I watched some videos. What was your experience there?
It was great. I met up with Sean and David and Marcus. A lot of my friends that I don't get to see very often,
Now,
and
did
I
you meet
met
up
a
with
lot of
Residence Daryl?
new. What?
Did you meet up with Residence Daryl?
Actually, no.
Okay, I'm surprised. Were
I
you there for the
should.
last day on Sunday? Because that's the main day he went. And then next year I will be going. So hopefully, we can do something conjointly there together. So represent the show or represent the store, whatever you want to do. We can do something conjointly there. Oh, excuse me, Ain't
Oh yeah.
Dead Games. I said it right, Will.
I'm thinking about possibly setting up next year
Well,
for the
there you go.
store.
But I will apparently Daryl from Residence Daryl will give me a press pass, so I may just be doing some press work next year. I
Oh,
will
nice.
go at least one or 2 days next year because I will have the money for it next year. Got this year I got caught up with a bunch of stupid bills, but yeah, I'm super excited, man, and I'm glad you got to do that show. Was there any like announcements there? Or was there any vendor that you really wanted to see that you haven't met that was there?
Well, I got to meet Adam. He owns a game store called Upstate Games in South Carolina, and he's awesome. I can't wait to go visit his store. I'm gonna have to figure out a time to do it because his hours are very similar to mine. So,
Well, sounds to me like uh you need to have a little part timer and then just have a part timer work 1 day a week and or have a retiree that works there part time, pay or an intern, Interns are free.
yeah.
Get an intern, give them the work there, and then you can go visit a store during the day. But no, let's get to the heart of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, Hideo Kojima, the man behind Metal Gear, Snatchers, Death Stranding, and many other games. Well, he has this wish, and it's not just a wish; it's a death wish. And let's take a look at this. Shout out to IGN slash Reddit. Hideo Kojima says that he wishes to die in a movie theater before the movie starts. And if you look at our thumbnail for this week's episode, it's Snake sneaking up on Hideo Kojima in a movie theater and putting him out of his misery. If I was him, I would never say anything like this to anybody. Because if someone sees him and they see him in a movie theater, they're more likely to want to kill him. I'm not saying you should do this or I'm condoning it, but it's like, well, he said his dream was to die in a movie theater. What
Yeah,
do
I
you
mean,
think about that?
I've always felt like he's a pretty crazy guy, or I guess unique, I guess you could say. But that's a little weird, a little out there to just come out and say that you want to die in a movie theater.
I just don't understand the logic behind that. It's like, I want to die in a movie theater. That is the craziest thing that you could possibly ask for is to die in a movie theater. And I can't understand the logic behind that. And it's just like, are you like Pee Wee Herman, you know? God rest Pee Wee Herman's soul, you know? It's like, oh, Pee Wee Herman. And like, no, man. It's like, that may be something you just don't want to do. Um, just mentioning anything, I thought Snake was sniffing Hideo Kojima's hair. No, he wasn't he wasn't sniffing his hair. Will he was planning to kill him? I just wanted to have that picture like that so people would be interested and curious. Uh, to me, I find it quite odd. Again, because there's certain things that you just don't say, and that's one of the things that I would
Yeah.
not say to people. It's like, "Hey, my dream is to go out this way." No, my my dream is to go out the way every man's dream is. Basically, doing one or two things: killing evil people and saving innocent children. Because I think that's every man's dream, is to save the innocent. And then, of course, the old tried and true, hey, some girl rides me until I die. you know, those are the only two acceptable deaths that I would like to have. Okay. Now, I have to move on to the next and more important things. So, I today had a conversation with many different people and many different friends. And I will say this, didn't say it. Do you know what the definition of the word chud means?
Not really.
Okay, so let's look this up. Let's have a little fun with this, ladies and gentlemen. So, the definition of the word chud, uh, chud is an internet slang term used to insult foolish or unpleasant or regressive person, or specifically describing a far right political view. In the original history of it, chud is a sci-fi horror film where a basically stands for a cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, referring to monsters living under the sewer. Now, I have had certain individuals or clowns try to call me chuds before, and let me just say, I was using the original term when I think of chuds, and it's like when people try to call men incels or other type of bullshit terminology. So this is where the part where this will become unfamily friendly. So if you have young children, or if you are sensitive or easily triggered, I will trigger warn you. Uh, this is going to be a untouring or a very unnice topic. Now, let's give that 5-second warning. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay. Now, let's just let it out. So, if someone calls you a chud, a right wing, or whatever, look, man, I'm a 1990s Democrat. Okay, I haven't changed. You just become such a fucking psycho fucking path that everything is offensive. And when I say when I call a motherfucker chud, I'm calling you a fucking cave dweller. I'm calling you some humanoid that lives under the sewer. I'm calling you some ugly motherfucker. I'm not calling you a far right political whatever it is. I'm calling you what it is. Chud from the original movie. Okay. So people try to call you that or try to call you an incel, and I'm talking to anybody who's listening, you know, there's two ways to dismiss these people. One, you can say, look, man, I'm sorry that your mom's from the sewer. You can do the mom thing, you can do whatever things like I was like, I get it, man. You weren't loved as a child. It's okay. I'm here for you. So there's tons of different ways you can handle it. I think the best way to handle it is like saying, "I'm sorry you wasn't loved as a child and you feel the urge to pick on others. It's very sad for you. I'm going to pray for you because, that's what's needed for you. I feel sorry for you." So that's how you deal with the people who want to call you an incel or call you some type of names or say you're right wing or a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, whatever type of bullshit trope they want to use because they can't basically debate you on your ideals of facts or whatever is truth. So that's almost a how dare you. So I'm going to put that as how dare you That is my how dare you for the week. Now, you don't have to answer that, Chris, unless you want to, or if you want to comment on it, or you can just do a how dare you, whichever way you want to do it.
I can't really think of anything.
Fair enough. So I just wanted to share. I just wanted to share that whole definition of the word chud and how people view the word chud, because I would say that um, your definition of stuff is what we would call in the '80s dumb, and you've never had any hardships. So piss off. If you're looking for some word to basically make it that doesn't really mean that because you think you know some slang, brother, I forgot more slang than you will ever know. And I'll leave it at that. So moving on to our next topic. Um, I'm intrigued and I'm very excited. And I am looking so forward to, and we've talked about this before, you and I, but I want to talk about the beauty of this whole series onto itself and what it means to me. It is the Tomb Raider series, ladies and gentlemen. I have basically been a part of the Tomb Raider series since the very beginning. And when I mean I've been a part, hold up just a second. Oi, this is my original whatever date this game came out for Tomb Raider. The original. I bought it day one with my PlayStation from Walmart in Poughkeepsie, New York. Day one when this came out. Day one. This is original. Well, the disc is in my CD disc because I actually listened to the CD, but this is the original case, the original game. I've had it since day one. I was at Walmart in Poughkeepsie, New York, and I had a choice. I had the money to buy a Sega Saturn or a PlayStation. Now, the PlayStation came with Battle Arena Toshinden. Now, the Sega
Great game.
Saturn came with Virtual Fighter. It came with like two other games. It was Virtual Fighter. I think it was Panzer Dragon or Dragoon or whichever one it was, Panzer Dragon and Panzer Dragoon. And it also came with something else. And I chose the PlayStation, which I do not regret. I am glad I chose the PlayStation over getting the Sega Saturn. And I love the Sega Saturn as well, but the PlayStation changed my life. And then when this game came out, this defined, and I'm going to show it one more time. Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider, ladies and gentlemen. I will show it one more time. And it's the original. I got it day one. I've had it since day one. This has never left my collection. I've traded off a lot of games, and it's not because that she's sexy. It's because it's a good story. She's a good character, and she was a first female heroine in gaming. Now, was she an add-on to gaming? No. Was she a forced character? No. She was an original character. She was her own Indiana Jones that did acrobatics. She wasn't a grumpy old man. She was an excited young 26. I'm going to say she's 26. How would you think Laura Croft is in this particular game? Would you say she's about 26? I would say she's in her prime. And has human peakness, our peakness hits about 26, 25, sometimes 27. But I would say that's human peakness. What would you say that how old she was in that particular game?
I would say probably like between 25 and 30.
Yeah. So she's in her prime of her life. So this is why I say that she's one of the best characters ever created because she wasn't just created as a sex symbol. She was created as this amazing uh, adventurer. She did all these amazing things. I've had nothing but love for this particular series since day one. I've only experienced one bad game throughout the whole series. And believe it or not, one of my favorite games is the one that won't work on the PS5 that's for the PS4. It's the little turn based one where you have to,
Oh yeah, I want to play that.
It's on the PS4, but it's the same thing with the Hitman. The Hitman has one too, but it's only on PS4. It's like a little turn-based, it's like a strategy-based game where you kind of have to move her, and then if you don't move her correctly, she dies, which is really cool. It's like basically like a chess style game.
Yeah, she was a badass, like just their video game character.
And note, they brought back for the anniversary one that's coming out in January of next year. They're bringing back her acrobatic stuff, and it's from Wild Hog Games. For those who aren't familiar with Wild Hog Games, let me show you what Wild Hog Games worked on. And if you don't have this game, you're missing out because it's actually good. They could have been a lot better, but the game is Evil West. Evil West is actually a very good story. It actually kind of poorly put together in some points, and there's some things that feels like it repeats. But Evil West was actually a good game, and if you don't own Evil West, you're missing out. And you can do it a co-op game. So in other words, if you own it and I own it, I've already beaten it, so I can come through with my extra stuff and help you walk through it much easier. But to me, it's a pretty good game. Will said that she was 28 during the game. Um, so she was either 28 or 27. But that's the one game that I've kept. The other game I've kept, which I don't know where I put it, was Speed Racer. But I've told that story about getting Speed Racer when I moved down to South Carolina from a games, well, excuse me, an EB Games employee who kept seeing me look at it every day, and he felt sorry for me because I was poor and said, "Here, boy, take this," and I did. So thank you, Jim Fagan, and that's his name, by the way. I'm actually friends with him. Uh, I've still been friends with him. He actually retired from the army about 5 years ago. Um, so thank you, Jim. I will never forget that. It's always my favorite stories to tell about not having anything. And you give me a horrible Speed Racer game because the Speed Racer game for the PlayStation is horrible. It is just absolute trash. Physically, we're not sure. And then basically at the very end of the song, she's basically saying that you never wanted to live that way. You never wanted to hurt me. Why am I running away? And then basically she sees the perspective from her father's eyes that he was hurt too, and that's all he knew. Um, so I would strongly recommend that song, "Oh Father" from Madonna, and I'll also "Live to Tell." Those are both good songs because I was talking to a lot of people this week and trying to find songs that made them feel connected to something. And we as humans sometimes need to feel human by listening to music that could make you cry or make you have some deep sense of emotion. Also, if you're not into that type of like pop music or that type of stuff, if you're only into rap, then I would strongly recommend Nas One Mic. If you don't feel something positive come over you when you hear Nas's One Mic, you don't know what like music is, and you don't know what like rap is or what hip hop is. When you hear Nas, just the beat and the way he flows on that whole track is just so awesome. And that is one of the best songs that I could recommend to you to in order to feel like there's something going on. Like if it doesn't inspire you to go to the gym or inspire you to get stronger or become better, that's the song. And same thing like with Masters of Puppets, man. My favorite song to run to um was Still They Ride and from Journey. And there's another song from Journey, it's right before Stone in Love. When I used to run, like I used to run a mile, like I used to run a mile like 5:10, sometimes faster than that. But that was my favorite song to run to. And for that whole song, dude, I'm running at top speed. I don't know if are you a runner or no? You're not a
I used to
Okay.
for a while, and then I quit. But
Okay. But that's one of those things, man. Those certain songs that hit you that make you want to do stuff. And then you said you love electronic music. You ever heard of Prodigy?
no,
Okay. Your assignment for this week. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, Chris will be on again. We're going to start doing the show every Friday night at 10 o'clock, unless Chris has something else going on. So every Friday night, 10 o'clock, we're going to be doing the show. His assignment for this upcoming week is to listen to the best of Prodigy or Prodigy Land of the Fat. and tell me what he thinks about that. And because it's a techno slash electronic music from the 90s, and it's pretty good. So that's his homework assignment. So I would strongly recommend people listen to Prodigy if you never listened to it. Also, listen to Tattoo, which is a Russian girl lesbian band, which neither one of those girls were lesbians, but it was the selling point of their thing. I love that. If you never heard Tattoo, listen to it. They did a very good rendition of the Smiths' Human, or I Need to Be Loved, or I forgot what the song was called, but they did a very good rendition of that. Now, shout out to PlayStation Ain't Dead, to Games Ain't Dead with Sean Powers. Shout out to those who joined us, the three people who joined us, and Will for staying for the whole show. Shout out to, once again, what is the name of your store
Uh,
in Shelby, North Carolina?
Next Level Games and Repairs, Shelby, North Carolina.
Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on the internet. Check out their website. Get pricings. Come to come trade in. Bring your controllers. Get them fixed. Get your controllers upgraded. Get your systems upgraded. Come there, hang out, and be a part of their awesome and amazing community. Chris, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I'll give another shout out to PlayStation Ain't Dead podcast and Ain't Dead Games. That's Sean's channel. Adam Upstate Games. He's in South Carolina. I can't remember the city he's in. I'd have to look it up. And also Caleb. He has Midwest Retro Games out in Missouri, I believe. I met him at the show. He was pretty cool.
So, do you call it Missouri or Missouri?
Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. Some people call it Missouri, but I think those are people who are from Missouri. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you identify in this wonderful, beautiful world, thank you as always. And we appreciate you. And please like, share, subscribe to the show, because when you do that, we'll have Chris on more often. We're trying to make Chris be a regular guest host on the show or a reoccurring guest on the show. And hopefully he will say yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, aliens, thank you as always. Please have a safe and wonderful night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.